Paper and Glam family. Can you believe it is time to start planning a new year? Wow, what happened to 2016? I think we say that every year, and every year it just goes by a little bit faster. So today we're going to start talking about 2017. And I know I am the last person to want to rush the holidays, to say the least. I never like to see like Christmas stuff at Halloween. My business and my brand is all about seasonal living, so I really like to kind of live in the present, and that's essentially the heart behind it. Like, if you boil it down to its very, very just bones and just heart, that's what it's about, is really learning to live in the present and fully engage in life. So we are going to start talking about 2017 though, because so many of you have just gotten plugged into Paper and Glam, or are new, or kind of been dipping your toe in the glam pool party for a long time, and you have been emailing questions, and you have questions about like how to get started, how did this come about, and you just want to know more. And in the recent past, I know I haven't done a great job of kind of articulating Paper and Glam as a lifestyle, and that's what we're going to do today. I think it was 2 weeks ago, the 2017 seasonal living list started shipping, and these are just the absolute heartbeat of Paper and Glam, and we're going to talk about what they are and kind of all of the details of those. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm not interested in planners, I'm not interested in, making a purchase or anything like that, that's totally fine. These are actually free online, because I really believe in what we're going to talk about today, which is seasonal living more than anything, and things I believe in just with everything. I am more than happy to give away for free. I'm a Christian. I can't ever outgive God for what he's given me and what he has yet to give me. So I'm really just try to be all about giving, and I'm sure I could do a better job, but I make these free online, just like book club and hopefully more to come. So everyone can participate in this, whether you have $0 to spend, or you really want to make this a core part of your life, and you're interested in home decor and everything that comes with it. So today it's all about seasonal living. We're going to take it from the top with this whole shebang, and really just go soup to nuts with Paper and Glam as a lifestyle. Because for me, Paper and Glam has never been about like any one thing, like planners or reading or Bible study, God and Glam, or seasonal living, or any of the things that we do. But it's really about, like I said, living in the present and finding ways to do that, so that life doesn't just keep passing by. Because I am busier than I'd like to be, and I'm sure that that's true for you. In the world that we live in, there's more things to do than there are hours. And how do we make it so that at the end of 2017 we don't say what I'm saying with 2016, which is, where did it go? And some of that is just bound to happen. Like, right, we can't stop time from passing, but my goal at the end of the year is to look back and say, I really went all out. I lived every minute. I really just kind of wrung out life, and I soaked it in, and it didn't just pass me by. I really experienced it. And the way that I've found to do that is with seasonal living. So let's go on a little time travel back to when I was in high school. So when I was in high school, when I really started to feel like, oh my gosh, I have all the things to do, and I don't have enough hours in the day. Like, how do people manage this? I don't even know, because I have so many goals and so many things that are important to me. I'm a very multi-passionate person, and there literally aren't enough hours, and some of these things can't not happen. That's a double negative, but they all have to happen. It's not negotiable. So so when I was in high school, and this won't surprise you for those of you who have hung out for a while, I went to school full-time, obviously, and I worked full-time. And then I was also trying to get into college. I was madly in love with my high school boyfriend at that point, and I was like, oh my gosh, all the things, and all of this is important. Like, I can't miss any of this. So it was very important for me to get straight A's, because I wanted to get into a top 50 business school. That was my goal. I was worried about paying for it, because they don't come cheap, because I was set on going to a private school. And, then of course I had, school and tests and all that stuff too. And I was like, how do I make this work? Because it just goes faster and faster. And it was really my junior year of high school when I started doing this. I remember I had 5 AP classes, which is a huge load. And, I was set on like starting college with a year done in high school with AP, and I successfully did that. But I also had so many things that I was interested in. I liked school, but I was more interested in working. So at the time, I hostessed at a Napa Valley restaurant in downtown Napa because the tips were just amazing. I worked at Tommy Hilfiger, which was all the rage during this time, because I wanted to have the coolest clothes, because that's so much of high school, right? And then I also worked at a scrapbook store because I was so interested in paper, and I knew that this was what I wanted to do. I knew this was the calling that God gave me. When I think I was a junior in high school, my phone broke, and it was right next to a scrapbook store. So I was like waiting for them to fix my phone or do something with my phone, and it was like a really rainy day, so I couldn't just go outside or whatnot. I didn't want to be out. And next door was the scrapbook store, and I walked in, and my life totally changed. I knew I'd found it. I couldn't even sleep that night. It was as clear as day, God saying, this is your future, and the rest is history, and that was 2003. So, so many things. 2002 or 3. This is what happens when you get older. You're with me though in the story. So I was like, how can I mark time in a really low cost way? Like, how can I make sure this doesn't just keep passing me by? So I assigned a color to the month, and this is me being a huge nerd, even back in high school, which is like, I still do this. And so in October, right, I would paint my nails orange, and I would wear my orange clothes. And pretty soon I had a color for every month, and I would really use that to mark time. And then my school planner, which I grew up using planners in school, and my mom always used a planner because she owns her own business as well. So I knew you just use a planner when you have a lot going on, that's what you do. And so this has been all a part of my life as long as I can remember. And so I would also use certain colors and kind of themes in my planner. And yeah, that's how seasonal living was born. And by no means did I come up with this, right? That's not what I'm saying. As my mom says, I took it to the next level, because growing up, my mom always had seasonal home decor. She loves to cook and bake, so she always had a seasonal treat ready for me and my friends when we got home from school, and that really inspired me as I got older and I had my own home. But, in high school, you really can just control your clothes and your nail polish and your just kind of your planner and whatnot. So that is how this was born. And year after year, I kind of built on it, right? And I had these running lists that I made every year in my planner of things I wanted to do every month to really make memories, because making memories is hard, right? It always, even if I'm doing something fun, and I've talked about this in my last vlog, and I always talk about this, it's always a little bit of a grind, to get out of the house and to make it happen. And I didn't want to just say, oh, I don't have time for that. Because I do that. And especially as someone who has worked full time and owned a business, or went to school full time and owned a business since I was 16. Well, I didn't own a business when I was 16, but I went to school full time, so that was the same thing. We're 1-to-1 there. I have struggled with this as long as I can remember, and I'm like, how can I tie a memory to a specific time and really kind of make a memory book in my mind? And I love scrapbooking, memory keeping too, but also on paper. So in 2014, I started working from home, and I got off. I was on call, because when you're in IT, in some ways well, I've never been a doctor, but in some ways it's like being a doctor, especially doing what I did, which is healthcare IT. If something breaks and people don't have access to their care, right? So you have to all hands on deck. It has to be, you're on call, and you have to keep working until it's fixed, because this sounds dramatic, but in some ways it's life or death, right? So I was on call, which meant I never really knew my work schedule. And as soon as I got rid of my commute and kind of that trek into the office and that lifestyle that I was in so for such a long time, I was able to open my shop. So January 1st of 2015, I started putting my seasonal living lists on the internet. And then after that, I started making stickers to match each item to use in our planners. So it was very similar to when I released the Glam Planner in 2012. When I went to Staples, I didn't see a planner that worked for me, so I made my own. And I didn't see a planning system that worked for me, from a kind of add-in perspective, because I really wanted to incorporate seasonal living into my adult life so that time didn't just keep passing me by. And I have a tendency, being type awesome, and those of you who have that workaholic type awesome streak in you will really understand this, is it's like, I feel like I have so many things that I want to do for my business, and my mom always says, stop trying to catch up, the sky's the limit, you're never going to catch up, and I totally get it, but I will be someone who just doesn't take time to make memories and live and just lets time pass me by, and I really wanted to create something that made me almost, so this is not exactly how I want to phrase it, because the last thing I want to do is for this to be one more thing for you guys, because that's not the heart behind it. I don't want to add another to-do list to your already overflowing to-do list, but because I am a very task-based person by nature, I started making like little to-do lists of memories I wanted to make and things I wanted to do. And that's how these lists were born. And the idea is not to cross everyone off the list. I do not cross every single one off the list ever. I probably get about, I get about half the list done, but every year I get a little more done on the list, and I feel like I lived it a little more, and that's the goal at the end of the day. Really, this is something that can change your life, and so many of you have written me and said just that. Like this, you found Paper and Glam, you've said that you found Paper and Glam, and these to-dos started becoming more of a priority to you, and in some ways these are more important to-dos, right? Like what's more important than being fully engaged in our life and making memories, and less focused on the things that probably are going to happen like no matter what. Like most of us are not going to accidentally miss our rent payment, like maybe once in a blue moon, right? Like it happens to everyone, but those things, like they're not going to just slip off the radar for most people. It's these items that are really like the real to-do list. And over time, it's like you have all these things, and it's like, how can I plan my month, and plan my month also not just on like the bills that are due and the things that I need to accomplish, but the things that I know could potentially slip off the list, because you want a way to keep it organized. So I have made stickers that go along with each of these, and so many of you really want to get subscribed to Glam Mail for January. So we're going to take a look at the Glam Mail January kit, because there's no better way to illustrate this concept than with this planner kit. And I know a lot of you loved the unboxing I did for November. I was actually afraid that December was going to sell out, so I didn't do an unboxing of December, and I ordered a ton, so there's still plenty left, and a lot of it is kind of at different price points if you haven't signed your stickers yet. But anyway, so I really wanted to do an unboxing for January too. So I thought that why don't I tie these two videos together? Let's walk through the first few seasonal living lists together and look at the January planner collection too. So let's do that, and then after that we'll circle back, and I'll try to preempt any questions that you might have if you're just getting connected to Paper and Glam. And those of you who kind of heard the spiel and you don't have questions, you can kind of check out for the day, okay? Okay, here is the list up close and personal, and we're going to walk through two of them together. One point of clarification is, if these are free online, why do you also sell them? So a lot of folks like to just print off their own online, and that totally works for them. But then some really like to have these really beautiful, like to have extras actually, of these really beautifully printed 5x7 postcards. They're on like a cardstock, and they just match the stickers perfectly. They also come in the Glam monthly kits though, so you will get them if you are a subscriber of Glam Mail either way. But some, and I would say most of our community prefers to have one set for like multiple planners, maybe one, like, so maybe you have a memory planner and a business planner like I do, or a memory planner and a work planner. Or you can, you want to get one for a friend because you think this would be really great to do with, your mom or your sister or your girlfriend, and you just want to, walk through the year with someone, and you want to give this as a gift. Another reason that I know that folks buy them, because I always get through these, so these only come out in January, and then like that's a wrap. Like I'm not going to restock these, and people lose their lists all the time. I'm thinking of Natasha, who did this most recently, and they email me and say, and this is a different Natasha that I referenced in my last video. Anyway, there's a lot of you guys, and I love getting to know you. Anyway, you lose them, or like your kid writes on it or something. And so I always get emails saying like, why can't I buy the list separately? And so now you can, but only until they sell out. And there's under 100 less left, because like I said, these are really popular, and 100 is not a lot, but this is an incredibly supportive community. So if you want one, or you think you're gonna want one, I would just grab one you know, like in the near future. So that is the spiel on these. They're 5x7, and they are free online, like with the current month. So right now, December and January is free online because that's the current month. When February goes live, then, you know, the February one will be up. So when the February collection goes live, that's when the list goes live. So they are not all free at once. And that's another reason folks really like to have them, is because you can plan ahead then, and you can kind of plan your whole year of seasonal memories with these lists, and you'll know what's coming up and you'll know what stickers you're gonna get to in your kit. Okay, so for January, we have New Year planner set up. That's pretty self-explanatory for a planner girl. Begin a new devotional. So I am, like I said, I am a Christian, so I like to read a new devotional every year. And the God and Glam community, a lot of us like to read the same one and just like encourage each other and pray for each other. It's very informal. It's just, you know, God and Glam, it's not a Bible study per se, except that I do pick a devotional every year. And then, you know, we just pray for each other and encourage each other throughout the year via Facebook. And that's the long and the short of it. There are matching stickers, which we're going to get to in a minute, for God and Glam, but this is the devotional for 2017. I'm putting it in here because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions on it because it's on the list. This is also very much a seasonal living book. One of the Paper Glam subscribers recommended this to me a couple years back, and I absolutely fell in love with it because no one has done seasonal living better than the church, and that is through this liturgical calendar. And I don't want to get into too far off course here, but the liturgical calendar basically follows a life of Christ. So, and there's some people think that is a Catholic tradition, and that's actually a misconception, because liturgical calendar itself is a way to embody the life of Christ. And if you're a Christian, the goal of Christianity, right, is to become more like Jesus every day, right? Love God, love people, love yourself. And a great way to do that is to kind of live out his life every year. So that is the story on God and Glam really quickly. Okay, write a 2017 reading list. So you guys know I host book club. I absolutely love to plan my reading and kind of have my books ready to go. I did make a book club kit too. So if you skip the book club video because you're like, oh, I'm not interested in reading, I don't read books, I would challenge you to read, to figure out why that is and start reading. But if you missed that video, this is the book club kit. There's stickers and a reading list. I'm not going to go through it because I did a whole video on it, but definitely watch that. This is part of the January collection too. Okay, go ice skating. How fun is that? And you know what? Why don't we open up the January kit as we're going through this? So here's the January kit, and you can see the list is included, but we're already looking at the list, so I just want to go through the stickers. Okay. So there are little stickers for each of these events, right? So here is the little planner, or excuse me, this is actually the devotional. This is the planner, and this is coffee. There was some question as to what that was. I think sweet Karen, thought it was the communion host. Anyway, this is like a little bookshelf for write a 2017 reading list. Here's a fireplace for sit by the fire and read. So going down, go ice skating. Here's little ice skates. Blue mani-pedi, because we get, you know, in January we wear blue, so here's the mani-pedi. Winter white florals, that's here. Light winter candles, that's there, and I kind of mirrored it after the Bath & Body Works candles because I love them. Bubble bath day, make a snowman pizza because it's just too fun to make your own pizza. And you know what, honestly, delivery always tastes better because they've perfected it, but it's just so fun, especially if you have kids, to make it at home. Jessica actually added that one. And then organized home day, which is this cute little bookshelf. Make snowman pancakes. Those are just easy and another fun thing to do, whether you are 30 or 3. MLK day, which is this I Have a Dream sticker. Popcorn day. I usually just do a movie night or make something fun with popcorn day. I also have Pinterest boards that coordinate with each of the lists. So like I have a really cool recipe for like frozen popcorn balls, which is cute, and that's all the links are down below. Bake snowman cookies, or excuse me, snowflake cookies here. And then handwriting day, I like to just write a handwritten letters on handwriting day. And then go on a winter adventure. So that's of course up for interpretation. There's so many different ways to go on a winter adventure. Okay, or maybe ice skating would be your winter adventure. Or sitting by the fire and reading. No, you know what? That one doesn't count. Even if you have a snowflake pillow like I do. And there's the snowflake pillow right there. All of these stickers are actually inspired by things in my regular life. That's where they come from. So yeah, everything you probably have also seen in my home or like in vlogs. All right, so there's little weekend sweaters. The weekend banners change every month, so do the little day banners. And then I put seasonal words like mani-pedi, so maybe like instead of writing mani-pedi, you want to just use stickers because that's fun. And then these stylized words also change every month, so these are New Year for, you know, the new year. And then here are more stickers that correspond with each of the days. Well, actually they all correspond with each of the celebrations, right? But they all work together. I like to use these. You could use these on your weekly or your monthly. I really like to use them. I actually do it on both because sometimes I don't need like light winter candles on my monthly view, you know? So whatever works for you. Here's more checklists. So these of course are flags and checklists. These are for making to-do lists. These are for, you know, decorating, blocking out time, whatever you want to do. But these little guys are actually to check off the lists, the things on the list as you complete them. And then these are just your, where it all started, the box stickers, and they match each of the celebrations too. And they're just too stinking cute if I do say so myself. Yeah, so I think we get a little better at designing these collections every month. Okay, Glam Birthday. So in every Glam Mail kit, there is a seasonal extra, and it's something that everybody needs theoretically because we all have birthdays, right? Or like in November it was Glam Eats, right? Like we all eat. So these birthday stickers correspond with every month. So here's January, February, March, and so on. And then there's cute little present stickers too. Like if you need to get somebody a present or you just want to wish them a happy birthday. That's how I designed it. So I have a lot of people that I wish a happy birthday to. I only have a handful of people probably that I send presents to for their birthday. And that's why there's presents and cakes and all different things here. So you can, that's how the cakes I used if I just want to send a sweet text or give a phone call, and then the presents I use when I need to think of a cute present and I actually want to send it or give it to somebody. So that is Glam January. This is the core Glam kit. So if you just subscribe to Glam Mail, this is what you will get every month. And it'll change every month, of course. Okay, now if you subscribe to all the Glam, you get the headers and the basics. So these are really geared towards your Erin Condren planner, but I have a lot of folks who use them well with the Happy Planner, and you know, you could easily use these in a journal as well. And then basics, same with these. The basics are really stinking cute. I'm gonna open the basics. The format of these are the same every month, but I think that they really do look different every month, but at the same time, they create a uniform effect, which is what I look for. So look at how cute these are. I just love the different florals. So fun. How I use these, so I use these for like little things, right? Like laundry, you know, small things like that. I use these for fun events, and then I use these for to-dos. Of course, to each her own, but that's how I use it. And then the header stickers actually fit perfectly over these guys. So you could easily layer one of the headers. And the headers all match, all works together. Okay, here are the headers. So to do, tonight, glam it up, remember, something for everyone or everything. Cute patterns if you don't have, you know, if it's not something specific, and then blanks if you want to just use a blank one because maybe your planner is getting busy, or if you want to write your own little note. That's what these are for. Okay, that is Glam January. Now with every month, we also do a new core release, and the new core release is God and Glam stickers. I am so proud to say that this is the #1 request for Paper and Glam of new things to create, and I get so many emails asking if I'll do Bible study stickers because it is so hard to find cute ones. That's what you guys tell me. So here they are. They are shipping now. All this stuff is shipping now. So if you purchase it, it's gonna go right out the door, right? Because the 8th is around the corner for subscriptions, and we're in full swing here. So how stinking cute are these? There's little churches on top. There's Holy Bible stickers. This is like for maybe morning devotional, but of course, interpret freely. These are the little devotionals that are also in the January kit. Here's a rosary, and so there's quite a bit of discussion when I revealed these. The rosary is, while that has been really associated, this is kind of like the liturgical year, the rosary has been really associated with the Catholic Church in modern times, but prayer beads and what we would know as rosary beads
is actually the oldest symbol of prayer. So we found prayer beads in every major religion and civilization going back to as far back as we know. I think it was like 10,000 BC is when the oldest prayer beads have been excavated or whatever. So I think that that's really cool. I think it's cool to use that symbol for prayer. One, because I've always loved, they're just like church glam, and I just think they're beautiful. But it's also cool to think 10,000 years ago, there was somebody more than that, right? 12,016 years ago, there was somebody, I just messed that up. Anyway, there was somebody praying and holding these prayer beads, and I'm sure it wasn't called a rosary then, but praying and reaching out to God. You know, that we're part of a long lineage of people trying to figure out, trying to figure out what's missing in our lives. And a lot of times for me, when I feel like something's missing, it's because I've been skipping my devotional, I've been skipping church, and I always kind of circle back to God, and he brings me back to him. But anyway, that's why I chose the rosary as the prayer depiction there. And these would be beautiful layered on the basics, right? I got a lot of requests like, oh, I wish you'd done a Bible study sticker for like blocking out time for Bible study, right? Well, all you do is you take the Bible study sticker, you layer it on a basic, and boom, you got your Bible study stickers. Everything is very buildable and customizable with Paper Glam. I definitely don't want anyone to be like, oh, I'm going to the zoo, I need zoo stickers, because that's, those of you who are like part of like the old school scrapbooking movement, that's how it became. Like when you went to the zoo, you used zoo paper. And then it was like, wait, like you don't actually need zoo paper like to go to the zoo, but and it gets really expensive that way. But everything with Paper Glam is very versatile. Okay, so next is just more crosses, more little. This could be a devotional. These could be anything that you would like to choose, or they could just be decorative. And then of course I just have some really. These are the verses that have encouraged me more than any others in the Bible and have really shaped my journey to where I am today. And there's no shortage of verses, and I talk a lot about this in the vlog series. There's no shortage of verses in the Bible that will encourage you, right? It's an inexhaustible book, but these are the ones that have shaped my life more than any other, and that's what I used on the God and Glam stickers. I'd love to create seasonal versions like a Lenten version and a Christmas version, but this is like the signature version. That is the first one that we're always going to have. This is the you better work of God and Glam, so to speak, for those of you who've been with me for the long haul. So while I'm packing these up, I just want to answer a question, because I get the same question very often from those of you who are just discovering Paper Glam or just getting connected, and you feel like this really makes a lot of sense, but you don't know where to start. You want to start doing this in your planner, but it's kind of overwhelming when you're first getting started with Paper Glam. And so the question that I get, and I know that so many of you have graciously answered this in our planning group, is what should I get? If I can choose one thing, like one thing is in my budget to get every month, what should I get to really get started and join the community and make this something that's a part of my life? And I definitely think that's the Glam Monthly kit. This is our flagship kit. And that's all of these stickers, and I'll link all this below. That is, like Glam January, Glam February, and so on. This is the heart and soul of planning. And if you buy no other stickers, if you can't do the basics, right? These are like extras. These are like nice to have. But if you can if one thing is in your budget, definitely this, because this would be if I could have one thing for my planner and this was all I could get, this would be it 100%. This gets the job done. Layering is beautiful, and some of us like to get really fancy with our planner, but at the end of the day, this is what it's about. So this would be my recommendation. Get yourself subscribed for Glam Mail, 100%. And also, what a good Christmas present too. And I feel like I sound like an infomercial, so I apologize for that. I don't ever want you guys to feel like that, but I do this with my mom, right? I've been doing this with my mom since I was in some form or fashion for as long as I can remember. And this just really, it's kind of like, in some ways, the backbone of our relationship, and it's just really enriched our time together.
Okay, so you love this. You want to get subscribed to Glam Mail. What are the details? So there are 2 subscriptions, like we talked about, whichever one you choose, and all this is linked below. Subscribers are billed at first subscription. You're billed immediately, right? Because the system wants to make sure everything, like your billing address, matches your card, and all that's good to go. And then after that, you're billed on the 8th of the month every month. Kits start shipping, and you don't have to subscribe to get these kits. There's folks who pre-order every single month, and pre-order just means you're getting a one-time kit instead of a subscription. A subscription, right, you subscribe, you never have to like check out again. It's just automatically going to come to you every month between the 15th, or excuse me, between like the 8th and the 15th, you're going to get your shipping notification and you're good to go. But a lot of folks prefer to pre-order when it's convenient for them, and you can just get a one-time kit, and you could, you know, just get the kits that really resonate with you. A lot of people really like the January and the fall kits because that's when seasonal living starts to make a lot of sense. And yeah, but this is really something that I do all year round. It's easier when it's like fall or Christmas or, you know, the start of the new year. But for me, this is something that's really embedded in my life every year. So one season isn't necessarily, well, Christmas is always magical, but other than that, you know, it all kind of just keeps on going. So yeah, as far as circling back, sorry, tangent. So kits always ship between the 8th and the 15th. And every month that someone says, oh, I placed an order 2 weeks ago, I placed an order, because the subscription window, right, it runs the 9th of the month, because the last day to subscribe is when subscribers are billed on the 8th, right? And then a new subscription window opens on the 9th. So for example, January, you have until the 8th of December to subscribe for January. And then February opens, well, that window is the 9th, right? It rolls over. So I always have folks who will subscribe on like or pre-order on like the 15th of the month, but it's the previous month, right? So theoretically you could go 3 weeks without receiving your kit if you ordered right on that edge date. So just remember that kits always ship between the 8th and the 15th. So that is how it works. All the details are online too. If you are new, please make sure you're shopping under Glam Mail if you're expecting physical stickers to show up at your door. Everything Paper and Glam is released in physical and digital, right? So if you are looking for physical stickers, please make sure you're shopping under Glam Mail. If you're looking for digital stickers, please make sure you're shopping under Digital Glam. There's been a lot of upgrades to the shop to make sure that distinction is like crystal clear, and every single digital listing is labeled accordingly, and it says, please note this is a digital listing. All physical listings are located here. But I want to make sure that nobody hits that roadblock. And then lastly, I always get asked, what promotions do you have? So I very rarely have sales, as you guys know. I really believe in this so deeply, and I've gone over and above to make the very best quality product. And so I offer it at the best price point. And it's right. I design it myself. It's 100% original. The quality is over the top. So I really, really don't want anyone to be like, oh, when's the next sale? When's this? When's that? It's pretty much going to be, with few exceptions, and they won't be around holidays. It'll be like Paper and Glam things. Like we celebrated the launch of a new shop and did a sale, or, you know, there'll be milestones I'm sure that we'll celebrate with a sale. But by and large, the only promotion going is the 15% off for new customers. I always offer 15% off for new customers. And if you've already placed your first order, everyone gets to use it once, whether you've been a Paper and Glam customer for a year or this is your first experience with me. Everyone gets to use it once. The code is Instaglam. It's all linked below, but everyone gets to use it just that one time. It's linked to your address and your email. So, please get connected. Use the code Instaglam, and get your first Paper and Glam kit. I know that it's going to change your life, and so I'm more than happy to offer a promotion. But they do not work on subscriptions. The shop cannot process a promotion for a recurring purchase. So if you do want to subscribe, make sure that you subscribe in a separate order, right? Subscribe and then use the promotion for your, like, a separate transaction. Otherwise, the promotion box won't pull up, and then I'll get an email that says there's something wrong, the promotion isn't working. So just remember, subscriptions are never going to be eligible for promotions because the system can't even process that. It's like, I can't give you a subscription every month or a discount every month. So yeah, I think that's a wrap. I hope that this really helped you guys understand the heart behind seasonal living, how this all started, and I hope that you're excited as I am for a new year of seasonal living, because it's changed my life. It's changed so many of the lives in our community, and I know that because I get emails every single day saying that's true. I hate to be like the person that's like, this product will change your life, but I mean, it's changed my life, and that's what led me to create this, because yeah, all the things we've already talked about. All right, that is a wrap on the intro to seasonal living and meet Glam January. I hope you guys are just so excited for a beautiful Christmas and a beautiful new year. I'm almost like more excited. I'm a planner girl, right? So I'm like more excited about the new year. Well, that sounds terrible. I'm not more excited about the new year than Christmas, but I'm just as excited. But I feel that way about like all the months, because this is what I do. And I think that's kind of half the fun of it, is there's just, when you look at these lists, even if you do nothing on them, you kind of realize like there's so many things to be excited about. There's so many things to look forward to. Life is so rich and so nuanced, so rich and so nuanced and so deep if you're willing to just dive in. And I'm just excited to do that every day. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for believing in just all of these seasonal things. Thank you for being my seasonal sisters and just getting me. I was so alone before you joined me, and just all your support of this vision, because it is really like the prayer of my heart. And it would not be any fun without people to share it with. So I will see you guys later. Have a fabulous Christmas season. Not that I won't be back before then. Bye.